We will see. All right, guys, we are live here at Fish North Georgia, the live well this Thursday night. We're going to go ahead and tell you guys, hey, listen, let us know in the comment section if the mics are good. All right, hopefully everybody can hear us tonight. We had to switch our computer off. So, Roland Martin, how are you, sir? There you go. We'll see, huh? Yeah, we know that's all rolling.
We get mics are working.
Mics are working, so we sound good. Well, guys, hey, listen, we're glad you could join us tonight. Tuesday night, our computer blew up once the once the show got started, and so we had to unfortunately cancel. But we have Damian Szlachta.
Yes, sir.
In the house. We're going to call him Damian from now on for the rest of the night.
Works for me.
That works for you. Say that one time, Kevin. Say it.
Szlachta.
That's
close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are glad you guys could join us tonight. Got Big Tony back there working the thing.
What's up, everybody?
Big Tony.
Big Tony.
From now on, guys, listen. If you address him in public, you address him as Big Tony. Inside joke, but trust me, it's well worth it to me. Let's go ahead and take care of our sponsors right there. Of course, we got Sonar Pros, the official live well installer. Sonar installer. I'm laughing at Big Tony. Sonar installer of the live well. 770-530-4505. Take your boat with the pros. Take it. Get it done right the first time. Trent and the guys over at Sonar Pros. And then we got, of course, Kevin Underwood and Lipsticker Fishing. 678-459-8419. Kevin at lipstickerfishing.com. Check out his Patreon. Patreon.com/lipsticker fishing, where you can see him do what he does live on the water and learn as he is catching those fish. So we appreciate them. And of course, the best rod sleeve on the market, that's Evolve Fishing with their rod sleeve. Got guys buying them here at the shop all the time. Nobody ever comes back with a complaint. They float. They got all the little features on it. And best of all, if you throw them in a rod locker with the rest of everything, the hooks do not get stuck in those. So check them out here at Fish North Georgia or go to evolvefishing.com. And then we got the Money Saver Lure Retriever. For all the money we spend on these lures, and we know how expensive they are these days, you want the best plug knocker on the market, and that's the Money Saver Lure Retriever. I got them. I'm telling you, they work. Little torpedoes going through the water. Get your bait back. So we appreciate the Money Saver. And then, of course, we got the legend, Mr. Bill Payne, 706-280-2305. Bill Payne's Guide Service on Allatoona. I'm telling you, he's the man to go with. Also, he will do seasonal smallmouth trips and, of course, get your sonar to where it is absolutely functioning the best. So check out Bill Payne, 706-280-2305, or check him out on Facebook as well. And then we got Brooks Anderson, the up-and-coming kid, one of my favorite people in the fishing industry right there. Lake Lanier. Brooks Anderson Fishing will teach you spotted bass, the what, the where, the how. The best thing about his service is he likes to cater it to, he'll do everybody, but he caters it to the high school and the younger angler, the college angler, trying to get their career started. Check him out at Brooks Anderson Fishing and follow his YouTube. He's got a good YouTube page.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. And then, of course, let's go ahead and do Fishers of Hope.
Okay.
Right there. I'm going to go ahead and knock them out. And just in case something blows up tonight, Tony. We want to get all the sponsors first.
Right,
we'll
there you
that.
go.
So,
good deal.
their mission is to glorify God, be servants of his word, to bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring. It is a ministry based upon helping someone in need by throwing a fishing tournament. Check them out on Facebook. Go ahead and join their page. Great people. Or you can email them at fishersofhopeministry@gmail.com. Tony Watkins and the guy, they don't come any better than that. And I highly recommend you get involved with, if you can't do it with Fishers of Hope, do it with a similar group. Make this world a little bit better place. Now let's do our buddies back here behind me. Turner Tire in Jasper, Georgia, 706-253-3339. Tires and alignment. Brock Turner and family. Great people. Brock's a fisherman. He's well known in the area, but good prices is where I get my tires. I absolutely highly recommend them. All right, now let's get in. Let's look at all the comments, what we got going on. And, I really wish, good Lord, we got a bunch of them out there tonight.
Already.
So we appreciate all you guys joining us. Evidently, you're a popular guy.
I guess so.
They're not here for me. They're
Yeah.
not here for me unless they missed me so much last week. That could be it, Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, there you go.
Now, you guys, first, let me go ahead and tell you, you and Tim and everybody did a fantastic job running the show while I was out.
Well, I appreciate it. We tried hard not to mess it up.
Yeah, I was down in Miami at the Miami Boat Show. So, absolutely. So anyway, other than laying off Roland Martin's granddaughter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's cute. She's cute. What do you think? Give scale of 1 to 10.
My girlfriend's watching this. You're
Okay,
gonna get me killed.
You're not dating her.
Nah,
No.
we're not getting into that. We're not getting into
I can't
that.
get him in there already.
Nope.
She's a 10 because she can fish.
That's what I think, just because she can fish. So anyway, all right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. Do we have any questions already? Have you scaled through? Make sure we don't want to miss
Going back
anybody.
down, most
Look,
of-
Hillary Martin. I hear y'all. Yeah,
Oh my
bull.
goodness.
Yeah, your buddies are out in force tonight.
They are out in force.
Yeah, because I promise you, Hillary Martin and Roland ain't watching us tonight. They might watch my TikTok. I did get Hillary and Scott Martin to comment on the TikTok we put out about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they're watching our show.
I
So,
don't think so.
Big Tony sounds like a mafia nickname.
Hey, that's yeah.
Is that what Big Tony really is all about there, Tony?
I don't know. I was told that was my nickname. I don't know.
Who?
Jacob Wheeler.
Oh, Jacob
We
Wheeler.
gotta
Yeah.
let everybody in here.
Yeah. So I tell you what, your buddies went out and made some great YouTube channels.
Oh, they love this.
They love this stuff. So anyway, yeah, especially if she's calling you Big D.
I saw her
That's
on
insane.
too.
Yeah, Big D. So anyway, all right. So listen, a little bit about Damian. You're gonna go ahead and get out of the way. He's a Yankee.
I am a Yankee.
You are a Yankee.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. But he comes from smallmouth waters, and now he's made the transition down here to our highland reservoirs. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that transition, coming from there to here. And Emil did do very well today, I think, given the conditions. It's always cool to watch your buddies fishing on the highest level. And he's a buddy at the show. So, but we're going to talk about that. And if you guys got questions about Lake Lanier, serious questions, yeah, I'm just looking. We're going to see how much juice we can squeeze out of him. So anyway, we'll let Roland and Hillary talk about themselves in the comments, and we'll go that. For those that don't know who you are, just give us a real quick, brief, broad stroke of who Damian is.
All right.
We're just going to say Damian S.
Damian S. All right, yeah. I grew up in Pennsylvania, born and raised, hour north of Philadelphia. And I grew up, I didn't really fish much until I was about like 14. I didn't really have anyone in my family that fished, but we camped a lot. So I'd always just take a rod to the pond, the lake, the river. And I didn't really seriously start bass fishing until I was about 16. Bought a kayak, started kayak fishing for a while, got rid of that, got my first boat, and just really started exploring like upstate New York area, Vermont, just fishing for those northern smallmouth. And I decided that I couldn't do winter anymore. Lakes frozen 4 or 5 months out of the year.
Right.
Just no. So moved down here. And it was definitely a very weird transition going from smallmouth to these spotted bass, especially here on Lanier. They get real pressured here, man.
So I hear often that when you're comparing the black bass species, smallmouth compares closer to spotted bass than anything.
Absolutely.
But why was the transition weird?
I think the transition was weird. I mean, I want to start by saying, they are very similar. Smallmouth and spots are both opportunistic feeders. You put it in front of them a majority of the time, they're going to eat. They're going to eat. So I think one of the biggest changes was sort of having the spots here just so pressured that 9 out of 10 times they're going to just ignore your bait, whatever you present in front of them. Whereas a smallmouth, it's hard to compare sight fishing to just spotted bass here because you can't really sight fish. I haven't gotten any spotted bass sight fishing on Lanier.
Right.
But up north, you can make a 10 cast at a smallmouth. Like the first 9, it might not bite, but the 10th, for whatever reason, it bites. And I haven't seen a spot do that here. It's kind of like you got one shot at them, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You got to move on.
Did you ever use one of them floggers or whatever them things called?
Oh, yeah.
Did you use those things?
We up on the St. Lawrence River, we shot a lot of footage with my buddy back home as a bait company, Fish or Die. And we do like a media weekend every June, and we just like get underwater content with the flogger and everything. And it's real cool, man, because the St. Lawrence, you got like 20-foot visibility. So you're down there and you're dropping down and you can see everything. It's really gnarly.
I'm not going to lie. This is honest to God's truth. First time I saw that, I forget what pro it was, had one of those things off the side of his boat. It looks like one of them damn tires they put, or one of them things they put out, like if they're trying to direct traffic somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
A cone. It looks like a traffic cone. And all that.
It's traffic cone.
And I was sitting there going like, what the hell is he doing? And then I believe it was Jason Johnson said, that's what it was. They're looking down in the water and all that. I said, okay, it makes sense now. But when a guy's got one of those in his hand and his rod in his other hand and all
Yeah.
that looks pretty complicated to me. So
It's real complicated, and it's a workout after a while,
yeah.
like big time. You're hurting at the end of the day. The next day, you wake up sore.
How much does one of those weigh?
Man,
Because I know what a traffic cone weighs. I've stole enough of them.
it's definitely I'd say probably like 5 to 10, less than 10 pounds. It's probably about 5, a little over 5 pounds, but which isn't bad if you think about it. But when you're laying on your chest all day and the wind and waves, and you got your rod in one hand trying to control that in the other,
Yeah.
You're spot locked over a bed, and you got like all the wind and current pushing by, trying to drag the thing away from you, and you got to like fight it at the same time.
Right.
It's something else.
Have you ever used one of those, Kevin?
Nope.
You've never used a flogger? I've been flogged. I'm not gonna lie, I've been flogged, but yeah. Although we even got G-Man in the house tonight too.
Oh my god! And
Randy
Randy
Blockett.
Hey, listen, for those of you in the comment section who actually think that Swindle and Roland and all of them are in the house tonight, look, they ain't here. We have some of Damian's buddies are. I guess they have to create that because you figure Roland's got a channel, so they have to be like Roland Martin 1. Change that channel.
Yeah, they got to change it by like a letter.
By like a letter and all that. So, Jessica Keller, and listen, there's been of course, with all the what do you call those people, impersonators in the audience tonight. There are some serious people in here trying to do. So if you made a comment earlier and we've missed it, there's 15,000 already. So put it back there, especially if you got a question and we missed it, because I'm sure I have. But Jessica Keller, I met her at Jimbo's Expo. They're heading to the St. Lawrence in June. What could they expect in June on the St. Lawrence?
You're going to have a mix of spawning fish and a lot of majority post spawn.
Yeah.
So if she's going up in June, I'd definitely take up a flogger, get one. And then they'll start to stage on the outside of humps and shoals out there in the middle of the river. And you can set up catching them. You can drag like a Ned rig or like a little finesse jig, or even like a 3-inch white swim bait, and just crawl it real slow. And those smallmouth will, hold real tight to that rock. They'll get in that grass and set up real well.
So spotted bass here are notorious that, so largemouth build a bed, they stick on the bed. If you want to catch that fish, bed fishing, you got to put it in the bed for the most part.
Yeah. Spotted
bass, you can throw it 25 foot to the right, and if it's just in the mood, it's going to go hit it no matter what.
Yep.
What about a smallmouth?
Smallmouth, they're a little more aggressive than a largemouth, but it's pretty similar in the way that a largemouth will eat off a bed. Is you do have to present it right in the middle. There's a sweet spot a majority of the time, unless they're super aggressive. But if you're 5 foot outside the bed, it's not going to be like a spot where they'll just roam off and grab it out of aggression. Smallmouth really won't do that.
They won't do that.
No.
All right. So John G. Lanier does not have smallmouth. So I think he asked the question earlier, are there any smallmouth in Georgia? Lake Blue Ridge has a small population now. It used to be a big population. Spotted bass destroyed that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So now you have the hybrid. They call them mean mouse. But you can get in the river, the Toccoa River might have a few coming out of Blue Ridge. Chatoog, Notley. Chatoog probably more so than Notley.
I would say.
I think Jonathan Farmer, if you catch a smallmouth out of Notley, he calls that a unicorn like that. So, but for the most part, Blue Ridge, if I was going to catch a smallmouth right now, I'd go on up to cross the Tennessee state line.
Yeah.
I'd get in the river. So I noticed that some of the guys up there, I saw the word river several times.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say fishing up there is more river oriented in the north than it is down here?
In the north, not really. I was just talking like the St. Lawrence in general.
Mm-hmm.
The St. Lawrence, it sets up a lot like a river. They're very current oriented, the way they'll sit to ambush, and a majority of the northern fisheries aren't really rivers like that.
Okay, they're lakes. They're more like
lakes,
okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Do you know Cason Taylor?
Yeah, I know Cason.
So
one of my good buddies.
What does it mean to feel 20?
So
you just turned 20?
Nah, I'm 25, but
Yeah.
So we started this thing. He started this thing where before a derb one time, he's like, I'm feeling 20. Like he caught him real good. He's like, I'm feeling 20 tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And whenever he says that, bombs the tournament, and he fished a Lanier tournament with me. And I'm like, I'll say it as a joke. And yeah, we bombed it. So now it's like an inside joke whenever we say, or we're not allowed to say we're feeling 20 because
You're not allowed to say.
No, we can't. It's like bad luck.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. It's kind of like Big Tony. It's an inside joke, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just playing with Tony like that. Then you got Lucas Bogosian. Did I say that right? That sound right? Bogosian. Damian uses my BOGO blade to catch big smallmouth. Do you use his BOGO blade?
I do not.
Yeah.
I do not use a BOGO blade to catch smallmouth.
Look at that picture right there, though.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. Let's see. RH Fishing. Ryan, the St. Lawrence is an amazing place. And I know a lot of guys, you come down here and you're experiencing our reservoirs and all that, but a lot of guys make that trip.
It's worth it.
Up there.
It's worth it.
And also some of the best tournaments on the pro level to watch are when they get up there. Now, does it get rough like Saginaw, all that?
Oh yeah.
Is it one of those places where where was the place that the Johnston brother got sick last year?
That was a St. Lawrence.
That was St. Lawrence.
Yeah.
All right. When you get a Canadian that's used to fishing that, get seasick during a bass tournament, that's some serious waves.
Oh yeah. And I mean, the camera never does it justice.
No.
On how bad it really is out there.
Yeah. Sometimes I see one where the angler's out there and the camera's sitting far off. He goes up a wave and then his ass is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, all you see is his head. And I mean, that looks like it's like 4 to 5 to 6 foot rollers out there.
Even bigger than that. Like 4 to 5, 6 footers out there is doable for the most part.
Doable.
Yeah, that's just how it is out there. And I've been out there times where you're between rollers and you just see water all around you. You just got to take your time.
No, bro. We don't get that. We think Lanier gets rough and all that. So let's see. Sal Pinto, my good buddy. Do you tend to do less with your baits and allow the current to impart the action?
Yeah. At the St. Lawrence, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like to use heavier stuff just to keep bottom contact. How the St. Lawrence has changed over the years is once the gobies got in there. You know what the gobies are? That goby effect.
Yeah.
They just started really eating off the bottom. They're so bottom oriented. They don't really look up much anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
How long has that been going on, you reckon?
Man,
has it been a couple of decades?
I remember when I was up there in 2012, I was 12 years old, and I didn't have a boat at the time, but I was fishing off a pier, and New York mandated a law that if you caught gobies, you had to kill them, and that's about when they started, because the adverse whatever happens, the gobies will go onto the smallmouth beds and they'll eat all the eggs, and
right,
because at first when they were new, the smallmouth didn't know what they weren't eating them, but now it's like just little protein snacks swimming around, and
for sure
as big as they've ever been,
for sure. All right, let's see here. Hit T-Toms. And again, if we miss your question, pop it back up. I'm wondering, how does someone become a co-angler for tournaments? What's to be expected of one in that role? What's the etiquette that's expected? Thanks in advance. Well, a lot of them you can sign up, like BFLs.
Yeah.
You can sign up as a co-angler.
Mm-hmm.
What's to be expected of one? Depends on the lake. Because if you're on Lanier, you're expected you're going to be on the back of the boat looking out in the middle of nowhere. But I think, and anybody can correct me on this. If you're going to be a co-angler, the best use of being a co-angler is to learn. Mm-hmm. Not so much worrying about whether you're going to win the tournament. I know a lot of guys do nothing but co-angling, and they've been doing it forever, and they are out there to win the tournament. But if you're new and that's what you're wanting to get into, is to pay attention to what the boater does, where he goes, how he approaches things. Yeah. More so than actually trying to, you want to catch fish. Mm-hmm. But I think wouldn't you agree that's the best as a co-angler starting out anyway? Definitely.
I was a co my first 4 years that I fished, like 2017, I had a boat, but I fished the BFLs. I feel like if you want to get into starting out as a co-angler, the BFLs are the place to do it. And for someone that wants to become a co-angler, that what's expected of it is just take what's in front of you. It's real easy to get sort of spun out because you're not in control of the boat.
Yeah.
And, you know, the last thing you want to do is like clash with your boater, and just take what's in front of you. And, you know, the whole goal as a co is to learn.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
you gotta
said,
kind of put your expectations at a level.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to go out and you're not going to get the fish the best. You're definitely never going to get the first cast of anything. You're not going to get the fish the best places. So the learning aspect is really there to shorten the curve. And then I think it also too, if you like that, it promotes you into getting your own boat.
Yeah.
And becoming a boater like that.
I guess the etiquette that's expected is one of the biggest things you learn when you first start out as a co is just let your boater do his thing. And there's almost like in the BFLs, it's not like a team tournament where you're there to help each other out. You don't want to hurt your boater's chances because, I mean, honestly, they have a lot more on the line than co's.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the boat has an imaginary line through the middle of the cockpit, and like don't cast past that line. You can cast out the sides and off the back. But other than that, I wouldn't cast ahead of the boater. That's how you end up having a bad day.
Bad day, bad problem. Have you ever been a co-angler?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, I mean, did you enjoy it?
No, I did not. I didn't. And it's not that I disagree with what Damian said, but I'm there to learn, as you said, but I'm also there to compete.
Yeah.
And you can't compete if you're there to learn only.
That's true. But when you first started, was it more, or did you have that competition mentality?
That's why you enter into it.
I get it.
For the competitiveness.
Okay, well, I get that.
So,
but I think a lot of guys,
that's a lot of them make their living from that. I understand that aspect of it too, but to enter something like that, I'm paying good money for my half, for my chances. My prize pool is nowhere near the size of the boaters.
Right.
But I still want to win.
I agree with that.
I don't go out there just to participate.
Right.
I go out there to win.
Just because you got the heart of a lion, you're a champion.
No,
I'm just pleasing with that.
I know you are.
But I know what you're saying.
We've talked about this before on some of the other shows.
Yeah.
I just lean that way.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. What I'm saying. That's where it's kind of tough. And that's especially with live scope now. Really,
it's
a guy doing what you want to do, if you're out there to compete, you're kind of getting screwed.
Well, you are, and if I'm there to learn, what am I going to do? Watch him stare at the screen all day and cast in front? I still can't see his screen well enough to see. To get used to it or how he's fishing it.
Yeah, I get it
from the back of the boat, and a lot of them won't turn their depth finders on in the back so that you can see what's going on in the front.
Right,
they turn them off.
What about you, Tony? You ever co-angled?
I have not co-angled. No, I have not done that.
Is that even a word, co-angled?
I'm sure it's
it is now.
I had thought about doing like a BFL or something like that, but I don't have the want to do it. I guess off the back of the boat, just like
you like to be in control.
Yeah, I think not having a boat until a couple of years ago. I want to steer the boat.
Okay, I got you.
I'm sure there's times when you went out with a boater that you knew more than the boater knew.
I don't know. I don't know about that. It's just sometimes as a co, you had higher expectations going into it, and they might make a decision that you're like, well, I wouldn't have made that decision, and it can spin you out real quick. But it's definitely gotten a little tougher as a co because of technology advancements and stuff like that. So it's really hard to learn when someone's staring at a screen now.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Jumping off of what you just said right there. About knowing more than a boater. They might not know, they might be on it even as far as fish knowledge, but I think that comes into play on certain lakes. Like if you got a guy from Florida up here on Lake Lanier in a BFL or something like that, and he's fishing with a local guy that knows Lanier, I don't know how many guys I've said that have talked to me would say, yeah, we're doing this, and he's not catching fish. And I would go, well, right now, this time of the year on Lanier, they're doing this. But that guy's got his won't listen to the co-angler, won't listen to the suggestions. And then some do, and it helps them out.
Well, yeah, when the guy in the back of the boat's putting fish in there and the guy in the front's not.
Yeah.
He better be listening and watching what's going on. Unfortunately,
they don't all listen. But I get what you're saying. I mean, I would probably be that way too, especially as a nice size entry fee goes up.
I want to do it with respect, though. I don't want him, I don't want a bad day for him or a bad day for me.
Yeah, I guess going back to what he said earlier about the etiquette is don't I wouldn't speak up to the boater and say like, hey, we should be doing this. Like, let him ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What are you doing different? You know, because you're catching fish and I'm not.
yeah.
That makes sense. Tetons, are there any known areas where crawdads live in Lanier? The whole lake.
The whole lake.
The entire lake has crawfish on it. I mean, wouldn't you say? I mean,
everywhere.
Listen, you can pull a spot out of 50 foot of water, and there's a good chance that he's going to spit up crawfish.
Yep.
So Lake Lanier is really full of them. I'm sure other people might have answered that, but they're everywhere. Let's see. Any place there are rocks, Ron Swinford says. That's true. So let's go on down. Yeah, they get totally. Well, I ain't even going to try to read that comment right there. Was that close, Tony?
You dead on. Dead on.
Oh, yo, who? What is? Hey, listen. What's that movie? Pretty in Pink, Long Duck Dong. You want me to do my best Long Duck Dong?
Yeah, I think we just leave that alone.
Okay, we'll pass through that one right there. So, let's see. I'm just trying to go through. Cody Campbell, right below it. You're right there. Where would you expect to find largemouth on Lanier right now?
Right now, all the largemouth that I've caught recently have started to been. They've been moving up under docks. I've caught some under docks, caught some off the edge of blowdowns. But it's been a super strange bite. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't tough.
Lanier is fishing tough.
It is fishing tough, and slowing down is definitely it'll help you more than it'll hurt you right now. And I mean, like, dead sticking, slow down. Like some of the largemouth that I've been pulling off docks have been on like a little 3-inch swim bait, and you'll see them follow it. You'll cast under a dock and they'll follow it out, and then you'll move on to the next dock and you'll see another fish and they'll follow it for a little bit. What I've been doing is once I see them follow it, I'll kill it and I'll open my bail, let it sink to the bottom, and sort of crawl it like in the bottom of a ditch, like you would in the bottom of a ditch.
Right. Just
counting rocks, and that's how they've been eating it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, have you experienced out there in the open water, a lot of guys are catching largemouth out there where the spots are?
Oh yeah.
I mean, is that in play right now, or is that something that happens a little more at certain times of the year?
It's definitely in play now. I mean, they're not. I wouldn't say they really roam like the spots are like right now.
Yeah.
A lot of those largemouth are starting to sort of head towards the bank,
getting ready. Prespawn time.
Yeah. Like my good buddy Rob at Tackle Warehouse, I was having a conversation with him, and it's almost like the photogenic period is more important than the temperatures. Like they know how long that sun's out for now. They know what's coming. You know, it's in there.
Think this weather's messing them up a little bit though?
It's definitely throwing them in a loop. That's for sure.
It's crazy weather.
Hot, cold.
It's like marriage.
Water rising.
You got a girlfriend. You ain't married yet.
Nah.
You'll learn that. You'll learn that.
He's a co.
Yeah. Warren Barnes sounds like Allatoona in the summertime. I tell you, now listen, for those of you that didn't check it out, the results of the Noe tournament for Allatoona were off the chain.
Could you imagine being the guy that brought in the 9 to get beat by a guy with over an 11?
Yeah.
I mean,
Barday, baby. Barday and then won. Him and his partner won it. It was like 37 pounds for 2 days, which equate 37 pounds on Allatoona to Lanier. That's
you can't.
You can't.
Mm-mm.
You can't equate that.
It's that, but that for Allatoona,
maybe like 90 pounds on Lanier.
That's what I'm going to say. I mean, that is a hell of a 2 days on Lake Allatoona. 19 something one day, 18 the next day.
I mean, when I was younger, it was called the Dead Sea. Dead Sea no more. I mean, it's got them.
But I say it all the time. Allatoona, when it comes to North Georgia, big largemouth, Notley's got them in there, but we see more picks of big largemouth from Lake Allatoona over the last 2, 3, 4 years than any other lake in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I say Georgia, excuse me, North Georgia.
I mean, just a few weeks ago, somebody caught a 12.
Yeah.
So
I did see a picture a young man showed me of a 10 plus that he caught off a dock light on Lanier the other night.
Really?
Yes, he did. It was a largemouth, and he just threw a swim bait through it, and it hammered it right there. So let's see. Robert Blaski, my buddy right there. I highly respect Damian for moving out of his comfort zone and learning a new area. being diverse makes you a better angler, and you are smashing them. So he's our buddy that fishes the NPFL.
Okay.
Been on the show. I was like,
From Okeechobee.
yeah, he's a Florida boy that moved up here to learn
Right
these herring lakes, and now he's snob and he lives in Tennessee. You know, he done moved up to Tennessee on. So I love you, Rob. You know that though.
Appreciate
But he did do that. He moved from, he wanted to fish some pro stuff, moved from Florida up here.
I mean, yeah, it's something else down here. I've learned a lot. We're coming up on a year now that I've been living down here, and my confidence in just decision making out on the water, just from learning these North Georgia lakes, has skyrocketed compared to what it was up north.
Yeah.
What brought you down here?
Fishing.
When did you go to work for Tackle Warehouse?
I just started there a few weeks ago. Yeah.
You enjoy it?
I love it.
What's it like?
It's real cool. It's like a double-edged sword, because you go in there and like you're seeing all this fishing stuff, but then you're putting your hands and your eyes on stuff that you've like heard about but you've never seen before, and you're like, man, this looks like a lot better in person. I'm gonna spend my next paycheck on this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can spend a lot of your money in your own place if you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially a place like that.
Or you just own the store, and then you just
Exactly. You got the setup.
I don't know why I ain't got no inventory in that. Hell, because I fished with it last week. Let's see. Go to eMoon _outdoors. Look, I even put underscore in there. I'm working good.
Yeah.
Damian was the best boater in the BFL I have experienced yet.
I appreciate it.
That's high praise.
That's,
so
yeah, he was a great co-angler, man. I fished with him a couple times too.
Yeah.
He went out on his boat. But yeah, it was a great BFL. I think he finished like, I want to say like 6th in that one. But I try to do a lot for my co's too. Like I'll keep my back unit on with my 2D, especially if I'm out scoping, just so they can see what's under the boat, depth wise, if there's any fish under the boat, because, there's been times where you throw at a fish and it doesn't eat. And for whatever reason, spots are super curious and they'll follow your boat forever. And
yeah,
I've had co's catch them right under my boat, just hovering a Damiki, just dropping it down there.
So like something Underwood told us to do. Remember that? Kevin said one little tip for a co-angler, if your guy's out there scoping, he goes, everybody knows the timber's at like 35 feet.
Yeah.
Just drop a Damiki down there and hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and you're doing that.
A lot of times you pull the fish back with you, so they're right there at the boat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah.
Let's see. I'm going. You guys out there, you're not going to get us tonight in the comment section with these names. You're not going to get us. Derek, is fishing as a co in the BFL on your home lake when you have your own boat a waste of time? So what would be your recommendation? So like, is Lanier what you would consider your home lake right now?
Yeah, I spend most of my
Would
time
you ever
on it.
even consider being a co in a BFL? Now?
No.
Not now.
Yeah, not now. But what about somebody getting started? Derek's got his own boat.
It's real hard to say. I mean, it depends on your confidence level and what your goals are with the BFLs and tournament fishing in general. Because, if you're just fishing it to fish it, it's one thing. But if you want to fish it to see where your skills line up for the future, it might be a good thing to hop into.
All right. Pull up
That's
Jesse's.
a solid answer.
It is a solid answer. Damon, what is the one thing that excelled you to the next level in your fishing? Moving to Georgia.
Confidence.
Yeah. I mean, moving to Georgia skyrocketed the confidence, but man, one thing that excelled me, I think one thing that excelled me is just my decision making. Like years ago, I would have 15 rods on deck. I'm like, all right, I might do these 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, hey, like I know I can go here and catch my limit at least, for points or to maybe cash a small check. But you got to go into it almost like, no, I'm going to go here because I know the winning fish are here.
Yeah.
And that's it. So now go out with 2 rods. I know what I'm going to do all day. And that's it.
Just simplifying it.
Just simplifying it. Yeah.
That's a good answer. I like that answer. Let's see. John G. Wilson. Some of you guys in the comments might have to answer this, or Kevin. Is there a campground near Fields Boat Ramp on Lake Allatoona? Because I have no earthly idea. Do you know?
There is a campground, but it's across from Fields Landing.
It's across the lake.
It's probably half a mile across the lake. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Doc Holliday. Luke Duncan has a great podcast today on co-anglers, Low Budget Live. He does a very good podcast. So check that one out right there. Sal Pinto. Picking the right baits as co-anglers is important to catch fish in the back of the boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had co's outfish me so many times. Like, I got to say, if you're a co and you don't have a drop shot tied on, you're crazy. I've had co's whoop me with a drop shot, just dragging it behind the boat as I'm going down the bank or whatever, you know.
It does work.
It works real well.
And again, that's back to the simplifying of things.
Yeah.
If you're a co, you don't need 15 different rods and all your tackle box. 2 or 3 things that you know makes it a lot easier.
Well, I think that sets a pro off anyway when the co-angler walks down there with 12 rods and a tackle box that weighs 45 pounds.
Yeah, it probably does.
Yeah.
It probably does.
Not knowing
You're
where
right.
he's going to put all his stuff.
Yeah. Who is this guy? Pull up old Stephen Barday. I had a blast fishing co for a couple years in the BFL and the ABA. But you don't do it no more, do you, dog? Like that. So he is the one that, again, like I said, he won him and his partner won the Noe tournament.
Stud.
He is a stud.
He's a stud.
He is a stud. He outpunted his coverage, though, with his wife. She's far the better one in that relationship.
I don't think
there.
he'd argue with you.
He wouldn't argue with me. He got hair now, too.
I see that.
He looks good.
Well, he's transplanted it from here up to here.
He transplanted it? Well, listen, I'll tell you what. I remember the first time he walked through the door here, I was like, that is one big human being. He's a big guy anyway, but he has lost a lot of weight. Looks great. Absolutely fantastic. So let's see. Let's keep on. Did I miss anything right there? The new computer. Tony, how's the new computer back there?
It's not bad. It's opposite of what it was. I'm getting used to it still.
A little different setups like that. So fishy.
So
Going down right there.
You.
So fishy. New to the channel. Well, we're glad you're here. In your opinion, did the majority of pre-spawn bass suspend or stay closer to the bottom? Also, do you notice pairs of bass more often during the pre-spawn? Now, that's a tricky question with spots because, I mean, they can wolf pack all year long.
Yeah.
But what do you got? Tony, what do you think? Did they suspend where you fish out at Weedawee or whatever the lake is?
Well, I mean, with Dowie, it's mainly a spot lake. I mean, if you get your largemouth, they're going to be moving up shallow. I mean, just typical stuff. But up the lake at the house, I'm still catching singles off rocks, stuff like that, and they're just kind of all over the place right now. So it's hard to answer.
What do you think?
I think you always got to be prepared for both. You just got to know the areas that they're going to move to for the pre-spawn, like what they're going to be moving up to next. And I'll always have something tied on for if I see them on the bottom, like I like to call them blinker fish.
Yep.
Or if they're suspended, you just got to be ready for either or. So
yeah, well,
I'd say a majority though. A majority that I catch, the closer we get towards spawn, are going to be towards the bottom.
Towards the bottom.
A lot of my bigger ones I've caught off the bottom.
What's the best technique for picking those fish off the bottom pre-spawn? We ain't talking about wintertime ditch fishing or nothing like that.
Probably like shaky head or Nico rig.
See, that's the one thing this year, and I don't know if guys that are fishing Lanier have noticed this. I did talk to a guy from Allatoona, and he kind of noticed it, but like the shaky head bite this year. Generally in January, February, you can go on Lanier, and if you can't get them on anything else, you can get a bite on a shaky head.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't even had my ass sniffed on a shaky head this year. I've caught them more on moving baits, but I've talked to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys are experiencing that same thing. And, you mentioned Lanier's fishing tough right now. You throw a shaky head a lot?
Yeah, right.
Have you experienced that? And you're probably a better class of fisherman than I am, but I'm just curious.
I don't know about that, but the bites have been definitely a lot harder to come by. And it seems that when you do get bit, it's when you're cast out there, let it sit there, make a sandwich, and then pick it back up. Dead sticking
You're soaking it.
Yeah,
slow.
just soaking it. Yeah.
Interesting right there. So
whether it's, secondary points that they're moving up. What's that?
What about the other half of the question, the pairs of bass?
Do they pair up during the pre-spawn? Do you notice them?
Yeah.
But I think they pair up closer to the actual spawn, don't you think? I mean, would you be?
I don't really think there's a big difference.
Really?
They're I like to consider them social fish. They like to be in groups.
Definitely spots.
Yeah, definitely
spots. So hope that helped you so fishing. Again, appreciate you joining us tonight. Let's see, pull up Stevens right there, Mr. Bardigan. Fishing Co. in the live scope era would suck. It was a lot of fun. You know, he had a lot of fun doing it years ago.
I don't blame him.
And again, that goes back to just the way people fish these days. A little bit different like that. Probably a lot more fun with a power fisherman that likes to beat the banks and blow down that. Unless you're a finesse guy and you're a boater who keeps his trolling motor on 10.
Well, you know, and you see a lot of things or hear a lot of things where the co-angler's in a position to get a check or possibly even win, where the guy in the front of the boat will help him out.
Yeah.
To get that.
Yeah. I've been there. I had a tournament years ago on the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, tidal water fishery, and I had a and we pulled up to a spot, and he caught, I think he got 4 in the boat in 10 minutes, and it was like 18-9, and it took like 19-3 to win. I knew it wasn't going to be that high, so I tried to get him his 5th fish for the rest of the day, and it just never panned out. But I try to help out as much as I can.
I got to check that. Listen, I love the way he says tournament. And he said derby. Have you ever called a tournament a derby? Have you called it a derby in your life?
Never.
Is that a northern thing? Is derby a northern thing? I hear a lot of guys say, "Hey, I fished a derby today."
I got some buddies that call them derbies.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
a tournament. Isn't that what you put on your knee when you got a bad cut or something?
A tournament. I'm bleeding. Get the tournament. You know, we're just gonna make fun of you.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But I did that. Listen,
wait till we get to the yum yum.
Oh Lord, look at the camera and say yum yum.
Yum yum.
Oh, he said that with conviction.
No. Now say I like yum yum.
I like yum yum. You know, I remember watching one of these once. You had Brooks say it.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I'm like,
I didn't tell you what it was.
No.
We'll tell you later.
Okay. All right.
When I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh.
Isn't that like a sauce?
It is a sauce. It can be saucy.
Oh no. I might ask the wrong thing.
It can be, especially in the summertime.
Listen, y'all didn't get to see the actual video of him saying it. It's probably one of the better ones. He was excited. When
was you excited? You're not gonna like me after the show like that. JTB, right down there. Let's see. Did I miss one right there?
Yeah, we got John G.
Okay, John G. Where would you find largemouth on Allatoona right now? Ask Stephen Bardet.
Yeah.
Maybe Stephen will tell
or
us.
Anthony Hampton.
Yeah, one of them. I would tell you.
Man,
good grief, they're everywhere. Right
just
now,
lock
everywhere.
a crank in your hand and go to work.
Yeah,
you'll run into them.
Do you go fish Allatoona at all?
Not as much as I'd like to. I do like the lake. I've never really targeted largemouth much, but they're up shallow.
By God, it's the time of the year to do it on Allatoona. But I'm telling you, Allatoona's got big largemouth.
Yeah,
their spots are getting there. Their spots are getting there slowly, but they're getting there. You can see the weights in just spot only bags coming up.
I had a friend that won the ABA a couple of weeks ago. Was it ABA? I think it was ABA. He won a couple of weeks ago, 18 pounds, and 4 of them were spots.
It's getting better. It's getting better. Let's see. What's up, Fred Ashcraft? Yeah, he lives on the coast.
Oh, yeah.
He's all about them reds and all that.
That's fun stuff, man.
Well, you can catch largemouth and reds in the same areas.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't that be pretty interesting? You go and catch a big old bucket mouth, and next thing you know, you got a redfish. You can eat the red, so the red tastes good. JTB, where is it? Is back of creek the best place to fish in the morning? The backs of creeks. We have this conversation quite a bit sometimes. Right now, would you start in the back of a creek if you were going out fishing on Lanier tomorrow? Now, it is cold as hell. It's going to be cold in the morning. Yeah. So let's just say, let's take the cold out. Let's say it was like a week or two ago where it was a little bit warmer. Because we're going to get that, what'd you say, next week? It's going to warm up a little bit.
Warm up.
And then it's going to be cold as hell again, but it's going to warm up. So let's see, we got a warm week for this time of the year. Where would you start in the morning?
Rocky Points.
You'd start on the points.
Yeah, I'd start on points and drag.
Yeah.
Drag stuff.
I think eventually as the bait fish move up, then the back of creeks become.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
it's still a little too early, you know.
Right now, I hear a report every so often of somebody, there was a bunch of bait in the back of that creek, but I don't hear it consistent.
Yeah.
So it just might be whatever creek you're in right there. So let's see. Got to scroll through all the crazy comments, and we'll get to a serious one here in a second. You keep on. Yeah, I see. You keep on finding. Oh, Philip Hutchinson. Jay Hubbard. That's your buddy over at Tackle
Yeah,
Warehouse.
I fished the Toys for Tots with him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got you now. I saw a comment. He had one of them eggplants in the end of his comments.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Jay, come on.
You should have Jake on the show sometime. He's a big kayak guy, kayak fisherman.
Oh, them kayak guys are weird, dude.
Tell me about it.
Kayak guys are their own breed of people. It's like their own species.
Yeah.
Seriously. No, I love them to death.
Oh, me too.
They think different. But I will say this, and I say it all the time. If I had to give a sponsor dollar to any class of angler, I'd give it to the kayak guy.
Yeah.
Only because, number one, they're crazy. Number two, they really kick that social media's ass.
They do.
They know they post and post and post and post, and that's some of the best people.
And they're proud of their boats, their kayaks.
Good
I'm
Lord.
telling you.
Hey, those things, man. At the No Show, that's the first time I've been in front of one like that. Oh
Yeah,
my
me
gosh.
too.
Well, so I went to Jimbo's show. I didn't go to the Noe's, and Fluke was there with his new one. Them damn things got a casting deck on the front.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
And I said, Gene, that's a boat.
Yep.
He goes, all kayaks are boats, but not all boats are kayaks.
That's
and I said,
right.
I get it. But by the time you deck out that thing, because, it used to be a big thing that you could just stand out of your seat and fish. Now you can stand out, step up on your casting deck on your kayak and fish. But
That's like the money they put into it. It's like, just buy a boat, man.
It is. But you know what? I will give them things. John Aldridge up here all the time, good buddy of mine. They can put that kayak in places we can't put a boat.
That's true.
Especially skinny water, some of these back,
I've seen some bass boats up skinny water.
Well, yeah.
And they had a hell of a time getting out.
That's what I'm saying. Me and Josh got one stuck one time. It was an electric tournament, and it was at Latham because where the waterfall comes in, it's now silted up. But if you could get to the waterfall, always has fish. We went up there, and it was like in January or February. It was cold as hell, and we got the boat stuck. And all we got is electric motors to try to get out. He had to get out. He didn't strip down naked like you did, but he took his coveralls off and everything, and he got out. He was knee deep in that mush because he couldn't. It's just, silt that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He had to push us off. And of course, me, the prima donna, I'm on the back of the boat, just kind of, I didn't get in that water. I'd have stayed stuck there and had my wife come pick me up or something. But yeah, you can. Let's see. Well, we must be way behind because Barday's like, anytime you can fish with anyone, you can learn something. It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, them comment. We must have 15,000 comments. So, guys, listen. If we miss a question, we'll get to it eventually. They're right there.
Anytime. I mean, you can go fish with someone and not say a word to each other, and you'll still learn.
If you pay
on the water
attention,
that
if you
day.
want to.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can right there. Scroll on down. Let's see. Alex Perez says there's a campground by Stamp Creek, John. So there you go. And Sal Pinto, we're back on the drop shot. We're catching up, boys. And then Robert Williams, check, dong. And Case and Taylor. Any plans on fishing the opens next year? Go for it, dude. Go for it.
I want to, but I can't. I wanted to fish it this year. I just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. Is
we need to work on getting you
expensive.
some sponsors.
I had some and just didn't work out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna work on that because I'd love to have somebody else to root for. Keep on scrolling down through all the stuff. Tracy Coker, what's up, buddy? Pontoon Jody catfishing. Somebody, a real person right there. Appreciate you joining us tonight. And Silver Punk, right there at the top. Oh, okay. In not of my buddy from Pennsylvania. What part of PA, Damian?
An hour north of Philadelphia, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Are you an Eagles fan?
I am an Eagles fan. Go Birds.
Listen. Okay.
I liked him for a while.
Listen, I like the football team.
Yeah.
It's half Georgia anyway.
Exactly.
It's half
They're all
Georgia.
Bulldogs.
But listen, y'all's fans are assholes.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, in the stadium.
Oh,
In the stadium.
not even in the
Listen,
everywhere.
I would
How'd you like
not,
to fish with one of those guys?
No, I'm telling you, I would not go watch a football game as a lowly Atlanta Falcon fan in Philadelphia to save my life.
I think it would be like a death wish if you put a jersey on and went to a game. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I would go incognito. I would wear green.
yeah, you'd have.
And
to.
I would root silently.
Mhm.
And then I would clap when the Eagles did something just so I didn't get my butt kicked. Any place that throws snowballs at Santa,
Yeah.
You know, you guys are a different breed.
I don't know. That last guy got crushed pretty good on social media. So
he should have got crushed.
They may have made an example out of that.
If you're gonna fuss, don't fuss at a woman.
That's right.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I mean, I get two guys a little bit, John. You don't argue at a woman, but
you're not going to win anyway.
You're not going to win. Has
Dude lost
ever
his
been
job.
a man in the history of the world win an argument with a woman? Have you ever won one, or did you just kind of bow out?
I learned a long time ago I can either be right or I can be happy. I choose to be happy.
No doubt. Words of wisdom from Kevin.
I get up every morning and say I'm sorry. So I mean,
get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
You know what? Listen, I've officiated 4 weddings. And if you want to get married here at Fish North, Georgia, we can do it. And I got to do my niece's wedding in 3 weeks, like that. But at one of them, I looked at the guy and I said, I want you to repeat after me. And he said, what? I said, I'm sorry. He goes, I'm sorry. I said, you'll have a great marriage if you learn those words there. That was a fun wedding to do. So let's see. Where were we at? Silver Punk. Serious question. What is the typical retrieve for a Nico rig?
Sometimes what I like to do is I'll cast it and I'll let it sink to the bottom. And, sometimes the blinker fish that are on the bottom, they'll sort of show themselves as it's coming down. They'll see it coming down and they'll follow it down. Sometimes they eat, sometimes they don't. And it just depends on the mood of the fish. A majority of the time I'm going to be dragging it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I will reel up a few times real quick and burn it up and then let it fall straight back down again. And usually that's when they'll.
Okay, I got you. Darren wants to know, what's your go-to shaky head worm?
My go-to shaky head worm?
Your go-to shaky head worm.
Just, it's funny. I used to only throw, smaller worms like the, what's it called? It's like the 5.5 inch Berkeley max scent worm.
The max scent worms, yeah.
It's like the real thin one.
Yep. Is that the hit worm?
Is it the hit worm or the D worm?
D worm, I think is skinnier. Yeah.
I used to throw that up north and when I first came down here, and then I started fishing. One of my first friends I made down here that I fished with, Michael, he threw a Senko, and I guess
what? He threw a what?
A Senko on a shaky head. And
I guess he said a Senko.
They did Southern Senko.
It's Senko.
Senko.
Senko works for me because the way I mispronounce everything.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's a Southern
thing
coming
or what.
Back, he ain't coming back. I done made fun of tournament and now Senko. No, I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never fished those up north?
Not a Senko.
Not a Senko.
Not a Senko on a shaky head.
Yeah. We had that. Remember, we had that argument or that discussion on one of the shows about 2 or 3 weeks ago because I always fish like a trick worm, like a Zoom trick worm.
Yeah.
A lot of guys throw Senkos.
Yeah.
And I've never got a lot of bites on those. Anytime I tried it on a shaky head,
I
just never had confidence in it.
Well, it's weird because once I started throwing them, I got more bites. It took a minute to adjust my confidence level because confidence is with everything,
Yes.
It's a great Texas rig.
Yeah, it is.
Great.
I'm going to go throw that Senko. I like it. But now, do you throw that now? That's your go-to?
Yeah, all the time.
Any particular brand?
Just Yamamoto.
Good. That's
color?
That's all there is.
Yeah, what color?
I'm not going into that, but
there we go.
Is it a unique color?
Yeah, it is.
Is it one of those that on the packaging it's like 297 number, or is it an actual name? And you ain't got to tell us the name. You ain't got to tell us. I just want to know because my favorite one.
I like to be straight up. I'm not gonna lie to you guys about colors. Be like, I can't tell you. I can't get into the color.
Is it something that anybody can buy though, or is it just?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's on the shelves.
It's on the shelves.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, I throw it used to be called Monster Shad, but actually, if you go buy a package, it's like number 297 large chartreuse. Chart flakes. Yeah, chart with flakes and all that.
Yeah.
I like that. I get it. Hey, I totally get it. Hey, respect that. We squeeze some juice. He throws a Senko. But how long did it take you to figure that out? That you to get your confidence in that?
Not long at all. Once you get your first few bites on it, it just takes off from there. And now I'm not even comfortable throwing that D-worm anymore.
Yeah,
I throw Senko all the time.
100%. Jason Jones, and this is interesting too. On tuna last winter, the underspin game was hot. This year, I caught one on accident. I think Lanier goes through that a little bit.
Oh yeah,
goes through that a little bit because 3 or 4 years ago, underspin, and you still can catch them. But now a lot of people are preferring to use the ball head, you know, and a lot of people are like, well, they've seen every underspin. They see it all the time. Could be happening on Allatoona. I don't really know what the answer to that is.
Well, I mean, when I moved down here last year, crankbait was awesome.
This year
it's non-existent now.
Dude, I told somebody, like, I haven't got a cranking bite, not a good cranking bite this year.
My last good crankbait, I caught like a 5.5, and that was in December.
Yeah.
Back in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And normally right now you should be, well, I think when the water's in the 50s, that cranking bite's really good. And then you get down in the 40s and all that, you can, but it's still, but this year, I mean, we fished Lanier. Last time we fished Lanier was 52 where we were at. I didn't get sniffed on a crankbait, and I tried it. Have you thrown it a lot this year?
No, not this year.
Not this year. It's not. And again, it's not just me saying that. Guys that come in the shop were saying, people I'm fishing with. It's just non-existent. But there's always that one guy though that put 25 pounds in the boat cranking. You're just in the right spot. Yeah, somebody's going to get them right there. Guys, we're going to do a couple more comments, and then we got the serve IT.
Serve IT.
Not serve it, Tim.
Yeah.
Serve IT.
Poor Tim.
I could see Tim. We're going to do the serve it. Yeah. I didn't even watch that part. I need to go back and watch it. Let's hit Warren Barnes' comment real quick right there, and then we'll get to the question. In the pre-spawn, I find that largemouth are all about timing. They seem to position and feed heavily at certain times throughout the day, early and late. I mean, that seems to be pretty good. I mean, very logical on that, I would say. I would say on that. So, Philip Hutch. Oh, let's see. Hit Jake's real quick because Kevin's getting his question out.
I'm good.
There you go. Let's see that. My buddy Troy won the co-angler division at Hartwell a few weeks ago in the BFL. He will tell you that he has figured out how to fish behind someone scoping pretty well. It can be done. It can be done. But I think you got to – confidence plays a role in that too. Because I think if you go out there and a guy's scoping and you're just like, well, here, this is all it is for today.
Yeah.
But there's always that guy that can figure out that little thing.
Yeah.
And that will work right there. So, all right. When we start back, we're going to have to scroll all the way down for you guys to try to get the answer. When we start back, we'll go with Spot Hunter 13's question.
All right.
Which was placed at 8:43 p.m., which I think was 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. So, again, and do this, guys. We'll start with Spot Hunter's question. If you have a question already put in and we haven't got to yet, go ahead, because Tony's going to scroll all the way down so we can try to get the question of the week winner, the answer, or question of the night. Get that answer. And put your question again, if you don't mind, like that, because it's going to be a pain to try to go back and forth and get your question. So, but let's bring it up. Question of the night brought to you by our buddies over at Serve IT. Guys, if your company is looking for a complete, all-encompassing, one-stop IT and technology management service, Serve IT is the company for you. Customer service oriented. They got a process that works. They're an American company. You're not going to get somebody over in Bangladesh trying to help you right there, whose name is Tom. You know what I mean right there? Serve IT is for you. And absolutely, we appreciate those guys over there for sponsoring us. The thing about it is, and I can look you right in the camera and say it, I went over there and to the shop, Alan and them. Their process is on their website. It's on their wall and everything, and they follow it to the T. And it's one of the most impressive things I've ever personally seen in my life when it comes to a business and a business plan and how they serve their customers. So go check them out. And if you're looking for a career in the IT services, whether you've got experience or not, go ahead and go to serveit.com. Check out their careers section on their website and go ahead and apply and tell them you heard about it on Fish North Georgia. And you will get at least a phone call from them to see if that might suit you. So we appreciate them. Now, how many answers do we have here tonight?
One answer.
One answer. And if you win tonight, you're going to get a thing of Power Pro braid, high vis yellow braid, 10-pound test. And I'm going to throw in 2 Berkeley slobber knockers as well. So there we go. Now, pay attention to this question because I did hear it.
Don't put no fingers up.
I ain't going to put no fingers up. I won't give away the answer. So here we go.
You ready?
All right. Hell, I don't need to be. They need to be.
All right. What is the weight difference between a 2025 Ranger 520R cup equipped and a 1989 Ranger 374V Comanche, including gas? Now, that is the boat only and gas.
No motor.
What is the weight difference between the two?
Read it one more time.
What is the weight difference between a 2025 Ranger 520R Cup equipped and a 1989 Ranger 374V Comanche, including gas?
Boat hull and gas only.
Boat hole, yeah. Boat hole
Boat
and
hole.
gas only.
Boat hull.
Boat hole and gas only.
Boat hole and gas only.
I'm from Philadelphia.
Go ahead and scroll all the way down.
All right.
And just so if any of you guys can actually get the good Lord right there.
Wow.
Yeah, keep on going. And again, guys, if we missed it,
Wow.
put your question again because there is a lot. So guys are throwing in there. You and I are gonna keep talking. Hell, I done forgot the guy's name. It was Spot 13 or something like that. But anyway,
Yeah.
just go ahead and put your question again. We're not even gonna scroll back up.
Yeah, that was a long ways.
Yeah, but we'll start right there with Dylan Fogarty's question real quick. Are there any guides you recommend for fishing Blue Marsh Lake in Pennsylvania?
Oh man, he's trying to be funny with it, but long story about that. But Dylan, I don't know if he's like trying to plug himself here or what. But
is he good?
I think yeah, he's fishing the opens this year. Great angler.
All
Great
right,
angler.
we need to get to know him then.
Yeah, you should have him on.
All right,
He's a Pennsylvania dude.
well, I got to space my Yankees out.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just
you're
kidding.
right. You're right. People are gonna stop watching.
I'm just kidding. I'm honestly just kidding. Hey, Dylan, hit me up on Facebook, Danny Pruitt, and let's see if we can get you on at some point. That would be awesome. But so is he the man?
Who, Dylan?
Yeah. Is he because he was talking about guides there.
Man, that's such a long story. We had
We got time. Ain't nobody gonna get
we
this
got
damn
time.
question.
So there's this dude who was a guide on the lake back home, and I would guide back home at the time.
Yeah.
And a couple other people would too. And this dude just went off the deep end, and he was like threatening us to no end. He was slashing tires, pulling valve stems, and
Another guide.
yeah, it was insane.
Sounds like Lake Lanier.
It was insane.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I find that to be something that maybe not the slashing of the tires
Yeah.
to that extent, but that happens a lot with guides and stuff on.
It's
on
crazy.
lakes.
It's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal, and most lakes are big enough for all of you.
Yeah.
And if a guide's not good, he'll go out of business. If a
Mhm.
guide's good, treats his clients right, he's going to be absolutely
Yeah.
fine. And so, but that's crazy. Now, did your tires get slashed?
No, but one of my close friends did. The day I wasn't at the lake, but multiple times I would get texts from this guide all the time, like basically like you're not gonna make it till April. Like I'm gonna. He was like threatening to kill me over this stuff. It was insane.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't go to the cops?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Did they solve it for you?
No, they didn't really do anything. I didn't go to the cops because of like, oh, like, you know, I don't want this. It was just more so if anything would happen and I had to protect myself.
Could I put a hole in them?
Yes. You know,
What are the gun laws in Pennsylvania?
you can carry. I carry.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
down here, I shoot first.
And
ask questions.
it's reciprocal. So like my PA carry is good for here and I forget where else. You know?
we don't even have to have a carry no more.
Oh, you don't?
No, in Georgia, it's that's right, Tony. Right? Open law now.
I think opened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
open. It's
yeah, as long
you
as
don't
you
have to have a license.
If you
carry.
conceal it, I think you still have to do one. But if you
Okay.
open, I think you're good.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Are we getting close?
We've
Well,
had.
there's been one close one, but
Yeah, so we had one that was close.
but he's still off. But it's been,
So that Mitchell Metcalf, that's the dude that threatens everybody there. So that's definitely my buddy trying to be funny.
Oh, is that him trying to be funny now?
Yeah.
That's the name of the guy that threatens
Oh
everybody.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. Is he your age?
No, he's 36 or
Good
40.
Lord.
something. Yeah. Everyone else is so cool, and they would work together and support each other.
Oh, there's always that one ass.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
always that one guy right there. So while they're still trying to no permit to carry open or concealed, Brian Justice
Okay.
says.
I
Knew they passed the law.
I didn't know that.
But you know what? I carried without a conceal forever.
I was
That's how
gonna
it should
say
be
I always
anyway.
yeah.
I never have to admit I might have snuck it into a certain area's high school basketball game.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, we was
Ooh.
down in Atlanta. That's
Hey, there we go. We got it.
Who's got it?
yep.
Chase Garrison?
Yep.
806 pounds.
And that is because a Ranger 2025 520R weighs approximately 850 pounds. It holds 54 gallons of gas at 6 pounds per gallon, which equals 2,174 pounds. And a 1989 Ranger Comanche weighs approximately 1,200 pounds and carries 28 214-gallon tanks at 6 pounds each. It equals 1,368. When you subtract that from the 2,174, you get 806.
Chase is
I got nothing better to do with my time. I'm retired.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, yeah, he does. He sits at home and he's like,
that's funny.
It is funny, but it's become a thing.
My wife she's sitting across the room from me, and I start laughing. What are you laughing at? And I said, I just came up with a question.
With the question right there. That's a good question. Now, who was it? Chase Garrison? All right, Chase, listen, hit me up on Facebook Messenger if you got it, at Danny Pruitt. Give me your address. Actually, a couple of you guys from last week, I got to get your prizes out too. So I will get everybody's presents. What the hell am I saying? Presents. your winnings. I'm going to get them out. Pull on down there to Ryan. Sheffield showed up. Look at going down to the bottom. Well, hey, how did we do that?
I don't have a clue. It just showed up.
Somebody gave us a thumbs up.
Okay.
That's a first.
Might be that wasn't you?
No, hell no, that wasn't us. So that's almost TikTokish.
Yeah.
Like that. So Ryan Sheffield, that's because new Rangers are slow.
Facts.
Ryan, appreciate you joining us tonight. Like that. Listen.
But they're not used to hauling around giants.
Oh,
well, Ryan's a big dude.
He is a giant.
He's a big dude. He's a big man.
About 6'7", 6'6".
6'7", I think. 6'7".
Yeah. I got a friend.
And it's all from his waist up.
It's from his shoulders.
He's got stork legs.
You know, that is true.
I know it.
Some of the biggest guys I've ever met in my life had like the smallest legs.
Yeah.
Like that. So I was like,
I got a buddy like that back home. He's 6'7", 380 pounds. We call him Fridge.
Call him Fridge?
Yep.
Listen, I don't doubt it. I don't know. He was him and Farmer. I don't know if you know Farmer on here.
Yeah.
They when them two would get in here, they would start talking about old basketball stories, you know, the glory days when they played each other in high school. Like, oh, I posted your ass up. Oh, it's fun. It was funny. I have a picture of them two hugging. I still got it on my phone. It's going to come out in the right time right there. So, all right, let's get back out to the questions. And again, if you had a question up there amongst the 52,000 comments from the imposters tonight that we didn't get to, throw it out now, and I'll try to get to them right there.
Is that true? What Jason Jones said?
Jason Jones said that's not correct. That would be the weight per gallon of fuel during the summer. Fuel gets heavier during the winter. Okay. Well, listen.
This was a summer question.
It was a summer question. But Chase, appreciate you winning. All you guys, you know how many guys are out there and they had their phones out doing calculations and stuff like that? I think it's fantastic like that. All right, T-Toms. But pretty cool, Jason Jones, that you got that. What does gas weigh in the winter?
Well, if I know.
If a gallon of gas is 6 pounds, that's
not much more.
But that's what you figured it out as. What is it, Jason, in the wintertime? Because even 6.8 would throw it off. But I do get that. It's pretty cool. How do you battle the urge to buy the new baits that hit the market? It's because you're in a tackle warehouse. You see all that.
It's tough.
I always say there's two types of baits, those that catch fish and the rest that catch anglers.
Oh, I bought plenty of baits that are just sitting on my desk at home. Just look at them.
What's the craziest bait that you've ever bought that you just have not ever used?
Oh, man. What's it called? One of those koikis, I think they're called. It's like a circular thing. It looks like a little urchin, like a
Japanese
thing.
The dugout had them at the show the other day. They're just like sea urchin.
Is that the Spro one?
No, it just looks like
Spro has one like that though.
It's just a sea urchin with tentacles.
Like a sea urchin with tentacles.
They got a bunch of tentacles.
Tentacles hanging off every which way.
How do you fish something like that?
But it's huge. That? It's like 3-4 inches in diameter.
Yeah, it's like almost like just like a racquetball.
Yeah.
How do you fish that?
Beats me.
Throw it on a wacky.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Fishing with Farmer. When me and Ryan fished together, we were the Twin Towers fishing team. Yeah. Y'all were tall. No doubt about that. Always skips leg day. KT Real Works. One of your buddies?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Tell them about your co-experience with the Ziploc bags.
Oh, we're not getting into that.
Oh, why not?
We're not.
I got some Ziploc bag stories.
Nah, I don't know if he's watching this. I'm not ragging on the dude, but it was just strange. I don't want to.
Did he have all this stuff in a Ziploc bag?
Nah.
He probably
Did he crap in a Ziploc
He probably put
bag?
his hand warmers in his Ziploc bag.
He would what now?
He probably put his hand warmers in the Ziploc bag. You know your trick for hand warmers?
Peeing in it?
Yeah.
Did he pee in a Ziploc bag? I took a dump in one up a tree stand one time. I had to go, dude.
Yeah, he peed in it, but not to like warm his hands or anything. It was weird because I was about to take off to go somewhere, and he had to go to the restroom, and he's like, "Give me a second, I got this down to a science." And I'm like, "What's going on?" He whips out a Ziploc, pees in the Ziploc, and then just throws the Ziploc in the lake. It's like, is this real life right now? I know what
he didn't want to pollute the water.
Yes.
with the urine.
I got it down to a science.
Yeah.
Peeing in a bag, close it up, throw it in the water.
Yeah.
pH just changed.
Why would he just stand up and piss off the back of the boat? Was it cold?
I wish I could tell you. No, it was like May. It was in May. That was down on well, I'm not gonna say where it's at because then you'll be able to see who it is.
Well, hell, I mean, listen. Somebody else has experienced that in his lifetime.
Is it a friend?
No.
What are you worried about?
No, it was a BFL. It was a BFL.
All right, listen. If you're gonna, here's our service announcement. If you're gonna pee in a Ziploc bag on the boat, don't chunk it in the lake. Why wouldn't you just put the bag over and pour it in there and just?
He threw the whole bag.
Dude, I'm telling you. So did it float?
He threw it in open.
What?
So he should have just poured it. None of it made sense. I was so confused. I didn't even think about it.
Listen, if he sealed it and had some air and it's floating on the top, eventually somebody's going to come along and go, "What's this bag doing out here?" They're going to pick it up.
In their lower unit.
Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Somebody got that bait fuel or something out there. Drop their bag of bait fuel. Let's see. All right, go to Jay. Spot Hunter 13. If you were fishing Lanier as a co-angler behind a scoper, what would you do?
Depends on the time of year.
Let's say right now, or in now going into the pre-spawn. Kind of.
Right now,
yeah,
I'd be dragging a shaky head. And I wouldn't really be working it. It depends how fast my boater's going too. Just let that thing sit on the bottom and soak and just drag along real slow behind y'all. And that and like a white swim bait. Just drag them.
I've seen people talk about white swim bait several times in the comments, but I didn't know if there was a story that I couldn't pull up. No. So tell me, I've saw it several times. Somebody says, "Tell them about the white swim bait."
Oh, it's just the fish love it.
They do love it.
They do love it.
They do love it.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, I got you right there. Let's see.
Would you throw it on a drop shot to keep it up off the bottom a little bit?
You talking about swim bait?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, I use like a 3/8 to a ½ ounce head and just drag it.
Okay, that'll work. Where are we at? So is it Silver Punk?
Yeah.
I love these names. So what baits do you see guys buying and you just shake your head at and think you're not going to catch anything with that?
What baits?
Now, here's the bad thing. Because you're working for Tackle Warehouse and all that, you really can't say.
I can't say. Like sometimes I'm
like, that sucks, dude. Don't buy it.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like putting orders together. I'm like, why are they buying this?
Yeah. So
but
what's a bait you see going out, or style of bait, if you don't want to name the company?
It's really hard to say.
What's your most popular bait going out right now?
Right now,
Yeah.
man, those stealth rigs.
Yeah.
People love those stealth rigs.
stealth
those
rigs.
clear
Yep.
A rigs.
Yeah.
Can't keep them on the shelf.
I could see that.
I
could see
that. And
They were at Noe.
what do we sell a lot right now? Hybrid hunters.
Hybrid hunters.
Those
somebody that doesn't
L-shaped
know.
crankbaits.
Yeah.
They're really good for fishing over the top of like grass or.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're sending a lot of those like Texas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Right. Not so much of Georgia.
Not so much Georgia or up north.
Yeah, makes sense. Darian Moss wants your Tackle Warehouse discount code. Hey, listen, yeah. Dylan Fogarty. Again, how much time do you give bedfish in a tournament before you move on to the next?
That's a good question.
How do you approach a bed?
I approach the bed, you know.
And we're talking down here, not the smallmouth.
Down here?
Yeah.
With spots?
Yeah. Well, spots are hard because
spots are real hard.
Because they actually spawn out a little deeper.
They'll spawn deeper, and you know.
If smallmouth is easier to answer that question, tell us about smallmouth. How do you?
Smallmouth, you'll know pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like if you can't get a smallmouth to bite in about 10 minutes, I just move on.
Move on.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it does take some time working them,
right?
And sometimes you can aggravate them by sort of like I'll throw a drop shot and you can sort of swim your line into them, and it makes smallmouth freak out.
Right.
And they'll just lash out and eat your bait.
Yeah, just get pissed off.
They'll just get pissed.
So I tell everybody, a lot of people think I'm crazy. Down here, even for largemouth, I throw a green pumpkin Ned rig in the middle of the bed because I think it's the smallest thing that does not spook them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're not boat flipping them if you get it or anything like that because you got to go finesse like that. Smallmouth, they're notorious for eating Ned rigs and all that too. Same thing with them. Can you just throw a little Ned rig in there? Or is
same thing, Ned rig. But I don't even really like to bed fish.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't spend a lot of time on bed fish because I'm not a huge fan of bed fishing.
Okay. Hey, listen, fair enough. Absolutely. Respect that. Where's the next question right there? Fardal, what's up, buddy? If fishing back of drains and fish moved in, cold front hits, how far will they pull out?
We talking largemouth or spots?
Well, let's talk spots.
They'll pull out. In my experience, I've seen them, they'll pull out back over the timber sometimes.
Yeah.
Largemouth will seem to stay up there, but they might just get a little more lethargic.
Yeah, that makes sense. James Ramsey, was it a Ziploc bag or a gallon bag?
It was a gallon Ziploc bag.
Guy had 5 monsters beforehand.
Oh, man.
That's a big bag. How long would it take you, Tony, in a regular Saturday to fill up a gallon Ziploc bag?
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever tried.
I don't know that I could.
I never thought about the quantity in which I output, so I don't know.
I don't know. I was just speechless when that happened.
Oh, I'm telling you. Well, you know what? It would be something that I would say is the first time we've heard on this show. We've heard some crazy things about that happen in the boat. If the co-angler was if I was a co-angler behind a scoper, I'd be drinking beer. Joey Metcalf. Hey, listen, 100%. I get it right there. Doc Holliday right there at the bottom. Danny, do you ever use the bright colored trick worms like hot pink or methylate on your wacky rig? No. And I'm not that it wouldn't work. I haven't done it. I'm kind of like, the methylate. I generally pay attention to guys like Ryan in the comments and all that when they're throwing it in the springtime. Bubble gum, methylate. I mean, is there really any other way to throw those things? We throw them like a trick worm, like a weightless. Ryan does take his and he twists the hook a little bit to get so it's not totally straight. Mm-hmm. It's got a little bit of a bend to give a little more action, and he uses a swivel up 12 inches from the hook, just to kind of keep the nose down a little bit. He kind of does that with his flukes. But no, Doc, I've never done that. Have any of you guys used Kevin, do you even throw a wacky?
I have done one. Yeah, I throw a wacky.
Do you throw any of those colors like in that time of year? I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Years ago, I used to. I haven't done it probably 5-6 years. Did
you have success, though, when you did it?
Yeah, up underneath trees and stuff like that. You'd skip it up underneath there.
I guess it would work. What about you, Tony?
It's probably been 3 years since I've thrown a methylate color, I think. So
right?
Yeah, I hadn't.
But did you rig it on a wacky, or did you throw it like
just a weightless trick worm?
Weightless trick worm. What about you?
I used to throw bubblegum Senkos all the time.
Now, would you throw that on a wacky though, or
I throw it on a wacky?
And would it be certain times of the year?
Yeah, it would be more like a spring.
Yeah,
early spring or like early to late fall. And I'm talking smallmouth. I haven't thrown it for spots yet.
Right. I know some guys on farm ponds around here will come in and it'd be like August, and they'll buy a pack of methylate.
Yeah.
Well, don't smallmouth usually hit more colors than what a largemouth or a spot would?
Yeah, they're big fans of just
bright colors,
white, chartreuse, pink.
It's interesting you said that because I have guys that from here that go up, and I poured the little weedless net head, Down here, we do them in green pumpkin, black, your standard colors. Some guys down here want other colors, but like they want the chartreuse, the hot pink, when they're going up north to put on their Ned rigs.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it's just because the smallmouth, it's just something that triggers a smallmouth.
They hate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost more of an aggressive kind of, I don't even know if it's more of a feeding thing than it is, here's something that's pink in my area, and I just want to tear it up. What are you laughing at?
Darien moss.
Where's Darian? What's
that one?
Yeah.
Please. Are you talking to me?
He's talking about the tackle warehouse.
Oh, I was about to say. I was going to say, damn, Darian, I didn't know you ordered any of those from me. I'm like, oh, God, I missed an order.
No, he's talking about tackle warehouse.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I will say this, though. Those hit worms right there, and they shrank the amount of colors that they used to offer down to, they used to have more colors, and that when they get gone, they're hard to get back. Yeah, they're hard. And you're at the mercy of Berkeley, I guess, pretty much.
Supply chain's terrible.
Huh?
Supply chain's terrible.
Well, I know, but it's still hard for people to understand because we live in an Amazon world. And I'm not saying nothing about you, Darian, like that. I'm just saying there are things that are tough to get. And once, in certain companies, they'll do a run of something and then they might not do another run of that for a couple of months. Once they're sold out, it takes a while to get.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did we miss here? Well, there was one right above him. I'm sorry. I was reading Mitchell's. What does FFP mean? FFP.
No idea.
Well, I can think of some things. It might have been in the comment section up there above. I don't know. If anybody knows what FFP means, put it in the comment section right there. Cody Campbell, what kind of water temps do you expect in some of the creeks? Doing something. There we go. I knew we'd pop back up. But I would say the temps are probably upper 40s right now. Might go back down. I would say 50, 51. I don't fish the Chestatee arm that much, so I don't know. But that would be a good guess. James Ramsey, what about the banjo minnow? Hey, a lot of fish were caught on a banjo minnow.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of fish were. Darian, have you mastered the speed worm? Us Pennsylvanians don't do that up here.
I've not mastered it, but I've caught quite a few fish down here. I captained these junior kids up on Chickamauga back in July, and we caught quite a few on a speed worm up there. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Fishing in the grass, but haven't mastered it yet. No.
All right, let's see. Let me go on down. That's the kind of guy that hits the thumbs down on the podcast. That must be something going on in the comment section right there. Carter's Lake Secrets. We talked about that a little bit though Tuesday night. You like Carter's?
I love Carter's.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Carter's.
And I told you that's a lake that people either love or hate.
Why do you like it?
My style of fishing really matches up to how those fish act in that lake.
Would you consider yourself a finesse guy more than a power guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you experienced though the huge amount of bait, that's in that lake? Because I know a lot of the striper guides that we've had on in the past, they say one of the problems with Carter's is there's so much bait.
Yeah. I mean, I've done real well out there, and I usually don't really try to fish around bait. I'll look for the fish that aren't near bait.
Okay.
It's real hard to catch them out there when they got, a million threadfin or alewife, whatever they're eating out there. I guess there's herring in there too.
There's alewife, and there may be a few bluebacks, but alewife I think is the major player.
And that's what we have back home in PA. We have all alewife.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So are you saying that's your technique regardless of where you're at, or just for Carter's alone?
You talking about like
fishing
being a
for
finesse?
being away from the bait.
Okay, yeah, being away from.
Bait.
He's wanting to know, do you target fish away from bait everywhere you go? Try to find those isolated fish.
Yeah, I like to find those isolated fish. I mean, they'll be near bait, but I don't like to catch fish that are like under it or pushing through it.
Okay.
Okay. No, okay. That's a good tip. Anthony Hampton, USA, Canada, 1-1 after the first. Appreciate that. I was supposed to tell everybody, keep me updated on the score. We will be home in time to see the end of the game. Well, you won't, Tony.
Yeah. YouTube TV rolls.
They did. Listen, wasn't that a hell of a start of the game, though, last week? They just come out and just beat the crap out of each other right at the beginning. That was so much fun. Mitchell Metcalf. Blah, it's been a long day. What is the one technique that has transferred most from Pennsylvania to Georgia? That's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't think there's a specific technique, but our lakes back home are super small, and the fish are insanely pressured because of just the size of them and the amount of fishermen we had. So I don't think it's a specific technique, but just having to grow up fishing finesse all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, that helps a lot out here.
I'm not going to say it sounds Japanese, but that's what the Japanese have to deal with.
Oh, yeah. Over in Japan, they're either throwing a 12-inch glide or the smallest little soft plastic you've ever seen in your life. Nothing in between.
Yeah, because of the pressure and everything like that. That makes sense. Jeremy Tyson, do you ever throw a straight tail minnow?
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I've just been doing a lot better throwing a swim bait instead of a straight tail as of late. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but they just seem to eat it a lot better for me.
Do you think maybe that everybody's throwing straight tails and that maybe why the swim bait's coming back?
I was having a discussion with my buddy about that too, and it's like you used to hear about the swim bait all the time.
Yep.
And now everyone and their uncle's throwing a straight tail minnow, and I don't know if they're just turning back onto that swim bait again or what. But
I noticed it with Dowie. I was throwing the straight tail, and it kind of sort of went away, and the swim bait paddle tails picked up. Same thing.
Yeah, that's very possible. 100%. Can you get me some of them Sakamoto shads for Dave?
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Good luck.
Listen, I always have guys coming in going, "Hey, you get any Sakamotos?" I'm like, "No, dude.
No, man.
No."
Even Tackle Warehouse, we get them in for a day. They're gone by the time we're closing.
Oh yeah. Know? Oh, I'm sure 100%.
What day do your trucks come in?
My what?
Your trucks, Tackle Warehouse. What day they come
in?
I'm
not 100% sure what days yet. But...
Listen to Kevin scheming. He's planning that stuff out.
Well, you need to know.
Hey, listen, you remember back when Obama was first president and we had like the the ammo shortages of like certain like 22 bullets and all that. Mm-hmm. There would be guys lined up outside of Dick's on a specific morning because Dick's would get their truck in and that,
Listen,
and they were there to get that 22 ammunition.
That was the most sketchy time I ever bought rounds. I was told to go to a specific building, tell them who sent me, and they handed me a plastic bag. I felt like I was doing a trade. Doing a deal right there. It was one of those. He went in the back room, picked me up a little bag of bullets, and here you go. I was like, okay, I'm not being set up.
You might be set up.
That was bad.
I remember all that. T-Toms. If you're fishing from the bank or using scent, I feel like if it doesn't wash off after the cast, some grass may take it off. I could be wrong. The big scent thing. Do you use scent, number one?
Sometimes if I'm on the bank, if I'm using any scent in general, I don't really like the stuff that you sort of like Dylan was saying, thump gel. I don't like the scent that washes off. The only scent I've ever used that I've noticed made a difference at times is JJ's Magic.
Okay. I like JJ's.
Yeah.
You like the garlic?
The garlic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had that conversation in here. I think it was with Dave, and it might've been before you got here the other day, or it was sometime the thump gel. Mm-hmm. I'm just, to me, and I am probably the least of anybody that needs to say anything about what's good or not. I just don't see how, if you're moving certain baits, that the fish have time to react to the scent. Now, once it gets a hold of it, maybe it tastes, they'll hold on to it longer. But when I see guys put them on crankbaits and you're ripping that crankbait through there, does the scent really have time? Now, there are guys that will say, yes, absolutely. But dead sticking it, maybe. Dead sticking it going slow, maybe. But I just think it depends on the bait.
Scent trail.
Yeah, but I mean, does a fish react to the scent trail on a crankbait, or do they react to the crankbait itself?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
But the scent is still in the water. It might turn them on a little bit.
Maybe it does. I don't know.
I guess they say sharks can smell a drop of blood from a mile away, kind of thing. Maybe it's the same principle with but
it could, and I'm not saying they don't work. I just in my pea brain up here, I just sit there and I think I'm like, okay, I just put something on this. And I throw it and I'm ripping it back across. Mm-hmm. Now, I think if I'm going in the same area over and over again, that might be one. But if I'm just ripping it and I'm going down the bank ripping it, just how much time does that fish have to take that smell in, determine that's something I want to eat by the time your damn crankbait's back in the boat?
Could it be a confidence thing, though?
Well, it could be.
Because,
I buy the Trojan extra larges just for confidence.
Well, you can use them over and over again.
Look at Tony. Tony, I had to say something to make Tony laugh.
Oh my God.
We all know I can't use them. But hey, listen, makes me feel confident. I think that's the way scents are. You know,
fishermen, we get oil on our hands. Oh. Some of them smoke and they get that smoke on their hands when they're touching their plastics and all.
Yeah.
I use scent.
Yeah.
You use Tony. I mean, as a cover? You think you use it more as a cover or as an attractant?
Attractant.
I'm not saying it don't work. It just, to me, it's like I
think it's a confidence thing too, Danny.
I agree with that. I think you're right on that. I just can't. And I could be the one person in the world that's totally wrong, and I'm okay if I am. But just in my brain, I'm just worm, yes, jig, yes, crankbaits, something fast.
If you've got a co-angler behind you and he's spraying his worm and he's catching 3 to your 1, are you going to start spraying, or are you going to keep going?
Oh, hell yeah, I'll spray on that. And I agree. Yeah, I know, but it's just, to me, I just can't. I'm just doing it because he's doing it.
I mean, I got to say, the only time I've really seen personally that scent makes a difference with fish catching, a couple instances are like fishing like a community hole. Like if you're out in a tournament and like say you're fishing a giant grass flat, and back home we'd get that a lot, like in Maryland and stuff, like the tidal water, it would just be big community hole grass flats, and that's when I'd throw like JJ's Magic on a Senko and I'd be dragging it through the grass, and 10 people around you aren't catching them and then you are.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, like, am I just like putting it near them and everybody else isn't, or is it actually the scent getting them to eat it?
Yeah. See, that's where I can logically see on the slow moving baits.
Yeah.
Because then I think it does have time to disperse.
Yeah, I just use them on my soft plastics.
Soft plastics,
I don't spray spinner baits or
right. But I know guys that will take it and put them on crankbaits and stuff, and I just kind of like, it just in my mind, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Not saying it's wrong. I just can't logically process it. But soft plastics and jigs, no, I get with that. I can get with that because you're moving it slow. Maybe, I don't know. Smarter people than us do that.
May I ask you another question? About a year ago, we had this topic come up on bed fishing. And it got pretty heated. I don't know if you remember it or not.
Refresh my memory.
They were really ragging on me because I don't bed fish.
Mm-hmm.
What are your reasons for not bed fishing?
I remember that now. Yeah.
We had some comments come in directed at me, and I told you about it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Not all fish spawn at the same time. There's plenty of fish to be caught that are not spawning yet or that are done spawning. I just don't feel the need to mess with them. And I'm not a fan. I hate seeing when tournaments are like major tournaments are put on in the dead middle of spawn. And, all those fish are going to be boxed and taken away, but
yeah,
there's not like a sole reason. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with
totally respectable.
There's nothing wrong with being a good steward of your waters.
Yeah, no, that's totally respectable. Now, let me ask you this, though. You're fishing one of those major tournaments.
And I had that before.
Yeah. Does it change if $100,000 is on the line, does that change your thinking a little bit?
Unfortunately, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it.
No, I get it. No, I get it.
Right.
And that's a tough thing that you put in there because that's when the tournament's held.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, like there's fish that are behind and, that are done spawning. And it just sucks because like sometimes depending on the lake, a majority of the fish are spawning. And this tournament that I'm talking about was like Lake Champlain in New York.
Yeah.
And 90% of the fish were on beds. So it's real hard to find those fish that weren't on beds that were of size that would even cut you a check.
Right.
So it's real hard to put thousands and thousands of dollars into a tournament to, am I going to do what's right and just catch these smaller fish that are behind or ahead and not cash a check? Or am I going to I'm looking at 20 pounds on beds right here. What am I going to do?
It's a conundrum. Mm-hmm. It's a tough situation. What's funny to me is when guys are, and we see this, that are against it, and they're catching spots in the same, at the same time, don't realize that the majority of those spots they're catching are probably on bed too. Just spots, they're deeper. You don't see the beds and they're aggressive and come off. But I mean, I could see that. So the only way to do away with that would be not to hold tournaments in basically April and May.
And it's everybody's prerogative.
Well, to be honest with you, it's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
I can see if you're fishing but it is kind of boring if you're just out joy fishing.
Yeah.
But if he's out beating that bank or running down the bank and he catches one, he's not sight fishing for it. He's not sitting on it.
You
10,
think
15,
there's a difference in sight fishing it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if he's throwing a spinner bait or a buzz bait up there and something just happens to hit on it.
Yeah, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally different.
That would be the same with a spot because you can't see the beds.
Yeah. And we actually had a law in Pennsylvania. You would get fined if you even targeted a fish on a bed in the
there
state.
There are some states like that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You couldn't even make a cast into the bed.
Wow.
It was illegal.
I know that.
There you go. I wonder what kind of uproar there would be at that down here in the South that was at. That's JJD Racing. Where does he get these questions? I don't know what my own boat weighs. Hey, listen, the man's retired. He's got time. Let's see. Bianca Jones wants to know when you'll be home to visit them. They miss you.
That's my little cousin, Bianca. I miss y'all too. I'll be home hopefully in March or sometime.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Going down. Lenny Speed. Favorite Elite Force Bassmasters member?
That would have to be Lenny Speed himself.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. That's my favorite Elite Force Bassmaster member right there.
So what is Elite Force Bassmasters?
It was a club I was in back home.
There you go. Lenny, appreciate you joining us tonight right there. So, hey, listen, that's a good name, Lenny Speed.
Yeah.
Lenny Speed right there. John G. Wilson. Would someone try to jig a minnow without forward-facing sonar? Oh,
they did it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even do it now.
Yeah.
Farmer taught me a little technique, ditch fishing with one of those and just a jig head. You don't have to have forward-facing sonar to do it. Just depends on where you're at, time of year, location, and you can do it. I've seen guys do it year round. Some guys will beat the bank with just doing that. So yes, you can do that. Far Dog wants to know, what's up, Paul B? How are the sales doing for these scat type lures?
You'd be surprised. We ship a lot out.
For somebody that doesn't know what a scat type lure is, what is that?
It's what is it? The depths. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but it literally looks like a turd. Just like a turd. That's all it is.
Listen, I guess
it's like a cat took a dump and you just put it in a bag.
And you're selling them.
And the fish eat them.
Apparently. Unbelievable. What's your favorite rod brand and reel brand?
My favorite rod brand, Dobbins or G Loomis, and my favorite reel brand, I run all Shimano.
Okay, that's
what kind of electronics?
Electronics, I like Garmin and Humminbird. I got a mix of the two. I got Garmin and Humminbird at my console, and then a Garmin and Humminbird at my up front. I run Garmin Live Scope.
Okay, Mitchell Metcalf, what tournaments are you fishing up north this year?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I might hop in that third to last. I think it's the third to last Open on the St. Lawrence River, the Bass Open. I don't know yet. We'll see.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah,
I imagine you got a little bit of experience there. Kyle Brown, about time to pick up a fluke and dead stick it around shallow timber.
I love throwing a fluke.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite way to use a fluke?
No, I love burning a fluke.
You like to burn that joker?
Yeah, it's weird. That's a technique I sort of brought down here too, because the smallmouth up north love eating the fluke. I don't know if you remember, what year was it? 2015, I think it was. Jordan Lee on Lake Champlain.
Yeah,
did real well with the fluke. Those smallmouth love eating it too, and I would throw it up there all the time, and then it's like, just did it down here too.
It works.
But the difference is, for whatever reason, you see a spot, inhale your fluke, and you go to set the hook, and it just pulls right out. It's the weirdest thing ever. Somehow the hook doesn't get them, but
I've been told the way a spot, and it happens a lot on shaky heads too, depending on how they pick it up. They shut their mouth. You try to set the hook and pin it, but because of the way that it goes in there, it's hard to get that leverage coming up. That's what I got told. I had 3 big spots one day. I fought them, drag, pulling. Got them. These were good sized spots, 3+, 4 pounds. Get them up to the boat, and they just open their mouth.
yeah.
And then when I pulled my worm up, I hadn't set the hook any. But now I'm on a shaky head, and I had a guy tell me that the way they had held it, when I went to set the hook, basically all I did was pull the head of the shaky head up to their lips. Well, at that point, you got no leverage going up or down, and they're just pissed off fish, and they're going to hold it because they don't want to let go of it. And then they see a boat, and they're like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, it piss you off. But I
weird.
imagine they could do the same thing with the fluke too.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of guys now are going to the treble hook on the top of the fluke to eliminate that sort of.
I've tried it. I just can't get it to run right with a treble yet.
Right.
I haven't mastered rigging that up yet.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try again, coming up.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that bite.
I get it. Stephen Bardet never used scent. So he doesn't use scent. It's just something I think about. I'm not saying it's not effective. I just don't understand some of the thing. Brian Justice, if I ripped an apple pie by you, would you bite it? Yes.
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 Yeah,
I'd eat it.
I would.
We'd be gut hooked.
We would be a lot of
The
things.
way we eat,
we eat well. We eat well. Kevin makes sure of that. Paul B. Scent can definitely make a difference on soft plastic, but he also has doubts about it on crankbaits. I just know on that thump gel, I think we had that conversation here before a show that, they come in colors, number one. So,
Yeah.
okay. Now you got a little color if you want to add to it, but put it on the side of a hard plastic. To me, okay, maybe you change the color a little bit. I just don't know how. I just don't know right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. KT Realworks. What about Georgia stuck with you and you jumped ship from Pennsylvania the most? What's North Georgia got to offer that you can't find anywhere else when it comes to fisheries?
One of the biggest reasons I moved is to not deal with the wintertime anymore. I'm sorry to everyone watching that I brought it down with me, apparently, because it is freezing cold out.
Dude.
But, I didn't mean to.
No, we ain't used to this crap.
One of the other things is just being able to fish year round down here. Just the opportunity.
Yeah.
And you're close to so many, world famous bass fisheries. You got Gunnersville.
Yes. Yep.
You got Lanier. Lanier's the best spotted bass lake in the country. Clarks Hill, Hartwell, Santee.
You can
all
from
the TVA.
from a 6-hour drive from Atlanta or something, you can be in some of the best bass
you could
fishing.
be in Kissimmee Chain. You could be up at Kentucky Lake.
Yeah, it's a good place to be for sure. Was you going to say something, Tony?
No.
Oh, I thought Dylan Fogarty right here. Used that thump gel in the open on Clarks Hill in January after I went for a while without a bite. Noticed I was able to pick off a few more fish after putting that stuff on. And that's just, I'm not saying, it just doesn't register as to why.
But it might correlate with how you were saying, with dragging slower, because Dylan, he was dragging a jig. So
then that might make sense. That makes more sense. Silver Punk, I've got some soft plastics coated in that Norris powder. Haven't used them yet. Well, let me tell you something. Don't take a half a bottle of bait fuel and put it in a bag of worms.
No.
That is the slickest stuff in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
I did that on some softies, and I went out the next day, and I got a lot of adult-oriented jokes, but since you've got family watching, I'm not going to say it. But I went the next day to try to just screw one of them worms on a shake head. I couldn't hold the worm. I honestly had to take it and put it between my legs and just kind of rip all that stuff off of it just so I could put it on the daggum screw lock. Let's see. Let's scroll on down. Farmer never uses scents. Oh. I wonder too, though, Farmer, you're a power fisherman a lot more. I mean, you throw a jig, don't get me wrong, but you like to power fish a lot. Let's see. Far Dog.
Which one?
That's the one down.
I got you. There we go.
If you were throwing shallow in mid-March to the end of May in Oklahoma, you may not be seeing them, but you are catching spawners. Okay, so we got so many comments tonight. We're still on that, but yeah, silver punk. Those turd baits should catch big catfish. Hey, I guess we're going to have to check those out. Let's see. Fishing with Farmer. As the pre-spawn is starting to show up, how do you approach it and stay on the fish until the spawn?
So coming up is like one of the better times to get on a real good big fish pattern up shallow, main lake humps, drains, stuff like that. Staying in those kind of areas that they're going to move up from that deeper water, and just the typical spawning areas they're not gonna be too far from it. It's still a little early, but they should be moving up soon, very soon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. With this cold stretch, Silver Punk. Oh, okay. Justin Warren. What's up, buddy? Thoughts on the newer Eagle Eye 9 by Lowrance?
I don't know much about it.
So I've had some guys talk about it, and one person that was in here today, and I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about it, and they were saying one of the differences is the spread of the transducer is not as far, or is not as wide or something as like the regular live scopes. That you can see fish, it is live and all that, but you can't. It's not spread out as much. So it's more of a concentrated style beam. I don't know, but I will say the price point's not bad.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to get into forward facing without as much cost, it's a great option, but you're going to be limited. It doesn't have perspective mode. It's got a narrower beam width. And I think the actual distance you can go out is not quite as far. So it's good to get started with if you're just one of those folks that just hasn't had it because of price point, because you get the unit and the forward facing all in one deal. So
run about $1,000.
I think it's $9.99. I think exactly $1,000.
Have any of y'all experienced the Chinese knockoff version yet? Have you seen? You know what I'm talking about?
I saw it.
I saw it at iCast last year. It's made to go with your iPad. So what you got to do though is or Apple products. So you can do it on your phone or an iPad. You got to figure out a mount to put your iPad on, but it plugs directly into your iPad. At iCast, it looked amazing. I don't even know if it's even out on the market yet. Damian, have you ever river fished much since you moved down here? Leave it to Philip to ask a question about the rivers. He's always in the rivers.
Nah, I haven't done any river fishing down here. I mean, the last time I fished a river was the St. Lawrence, like late October. We had a tournament up there. So the last time I was
down here is a little different.
Yeah.
Go back up. I know I missed Silver Punk's question. Or did we do that question?
No, we didn't do that
one.
Nope. Okay, with this cold stretch we've had, how many days of warmer weather does it take to make the bass move back up?
It'll take a few days of consistent.
A little bit warmer nights too.
Yeah.
It's got to take a few ticks to get the water tip up, and they'll start doing that.
These Lanier fish are so sensitive to weather changes.
Yeah.
And just like seasonal changes, like going from pre-spawn to spawn, or just winter to pre-spawn in general.
Mm-hmm.
Any little change, it just seems to throw them into a little bit of a loop.
Yeah, I get that. Let's see. Aaron Young. I think fish get conditioned to the same scent. If every time they smell garlic, they get hooked, garlic then becomes a deterrent. Quite possible. I mean, I guess quite possible.
I don't know, because what about that max scent? Everyone throws max scent like religiously.
But is max scent more the taste or the scent? Because it's got built-in stuff to make them hold on to it longer as well, right?
That's what they say.
It's what they say.
Yeah, it doesn't really smell like much though. You ever smell it?
No, and I actually, I put them in my mouth while I was holding. Like those, not to eat, but it's just different. It's something about it's different.
What does it taste like?
Well, it just don't really taste. That's what I'm saying. I mean, but I don't know that when the max scent worm's in there that it's where when Kevin's talking about giving off a scent trail.
Yeah,
I don't know that the max scent releases enough stuff to give off that trail, does it? They say it might.
In the commercials, they make it look like it does. You ever see them like drop it in the water when they cast and it like disperses on the commercial?
Yeah. Oh, we can do it. Listen, we can do a lot of stuff with editing.
Yeah, I know.
Editing and software.
They make all that stuff look great.
We can but I mean, how many times have you ever thrown one or just held it in the water by the boat and it's given off anything? You don't see it with that, do you?
Not with MaxScent, but that's why, like, going back to like JJ's Magic,
that does
it every single
that
time.
does that does 100%.
Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Bang does, and I would say Bang is one of the more popular ones out there.
That's what I use.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Let's see. What's your go-to topwater walking bait rod? What rod is your go-to topwater walking bait rod? Yeah, that's the question.
I use a Dobbins Fury 705 CB. It's a medium heavy, moderate fast.
Okay. Far Dog. Listen, this is another one. My favorite scent for soft plastics ever is Strike King coffee scent. But just because I love the smell of it, there you go. Now they're $40 on eBay.
Really?
But coffee is one of the scents. So you got your like Bang. You got your crawfish. You got your shad. You got the little combo. You got garlic. But some companies do is it anise or anise? ANISE is something like that. It's coffee. Anus. That's on them daggum. That's on them. Scat baits, I guess.
Yeah,
use
something
that.
like that.
Use that on that. Let's see. JD Majors, right there. Gotcha. There you go. I'm fishing Gville this weekend, so Gunnersville. Mm-hmm. What should I be looking for with the weather change throughout the week? I will tell you what Dave would tell you. Dave, that's on here, he's out at Gunnersville. Get the lightest A-rig you can get.
Yeah.
White Zoom or not Zoom, Kitex, and roll that thing over grass.
Yeah.
Go watch his videos.
100 people doing that this weekend too, because I think it's the Stealth Lures tournament this weekend on Gunnersville.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I just know I saw that firsthand.
Yeah.
Firsthand him doing that. And he was doubling and tripling up. And it was crazy because it's a largemouth lake. Mm-hmm. And, you think it's stuff like that. We're just conditioned with spotted bass here. To watch him in 7 foot of water with 4.5, 5 foot of grass, throwing an A-rig across the top of it and burning it across the top and just getting hammered. I was like, I never would have thought that was possible. But Far Dog. Oh, okay. I get that. Say, do y'all use a lot of perspective view? And if so, what type of water are you using it in?
No, I don't really use a lot of perspective view. The only time I really would is fishing in grass. That's about it. Just see clumps a lot better.
Yeah.
And but I make a 360 on the boat, so that does me good enough.
Yeah, I like my 360. I like my 360. Anthony Hampton says, starting to get chippy. USA 2-1. Hands being thrown.
Hey,
the hockey game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Listen, Josh, my partner here, loves hockey.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest hockey fan, but when it's your country versus another, then I watch it. So.
Oh yeah.
But when we get done here, I'm going home and watching the end of the third, just to see. But I will say this. They take that crap serious. And that is one good thing about hockey. Hard to watch on TV, but you get an occasional fight thrown in there. Yeah. Somebody. And I like the fact that they let them fight until they fall down.
That's right.
Yeah. You ever go to a game in person?
Yeah, I've been like some Gwinnett Gladiators. I haven't been to a professional one. But we're supposed to be getting us a team here. They're building in Alpharetta.
Oh, really?
Right, exit 13 or something like that. Just inside the South County line. They're building a huge arena, $1 billion complex for hockey. And you don't build one of those unless you probably said, hey, if you build it, we'll give you a team. Dang. So that's coming. Yeah, they got that approved and all that. Let's see. Going down. Alex Purrs. If you was fishing a tournament.
Oh, sorry. Moved on me.
Okay. If you was fishing a tournament on Sunday morning, which way would you go, north or south?
On Lanier, I go south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's better right now?
Yeah, sort of better. About a month ago, though, I'd fish like Chesapeake Bay area. That's where I'd go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good place right there for sure.
South End can be it was a little tricky for a while there. And man, I mean, a lot of the ABA people that were catching 20 pounds was around Little Hall. And then like the high school tournament that happened that Saturday and those kids won with 20. 90% sure they were fishing up north too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong any place, but
No.
you just go south because you're more confident down there too.
Yeah,
That's your confidence area. Far Dog Shade has a college tournament on Smith Lake next Friday and Saturday. Have any of you had any luck fishing there? And Far Dog, we need to get them on. I know I remember your comment. I was out of town last week, so we need to set that up. His boy and another boy, they won the JUCO national championship. So that would be pretty cool. Talk to them about it. Smith Lake is a spotted bass lake. It is deep.
Clear.
It's not like Lanier in the size of the spots. Seems like that's a tougher tournament when some of the pro level guys go over there. Far Dog, I got a couple buddies that fish it. I'm gonna see if I can get them in touch with you since I got your email. I think I got your email. You emailed me before. Craftmaster says the game is now 2-2.
Ooh.
Silver Punk was a huge Thrashers fan.
Only and last one I ever went to was
Thrashers. Yeah. Chase Garrison, what does Damian know about that white swim bait bite?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, he's gonna keep throwing it up there right there. So
that's the bottom. That's it.
What's your favorite technique? Like right now, are we caught up?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Amazing. We got caught up. So, oh dang, we're almost to the end of the show.
Yeah,
good grief. So here's a question for me.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite thing to do on Lake Lanier? Like what would be the last thing you would try on a tough day? And favorite thing to do on Lake Lanier right now for fish?
I hate throwing a drop. I usually like throwing a drop shot, but when it gets to that time when that's really all they're, eating, or you can get them to really eat, I hate dragging a drop shot, dead sticking a drop shot.
Yeah.
Like August, it was like my first summer here. So that was a whole nother experience. It just got super, super tough.
Right.
But like a drop shot and eco rig were still pretty productive. But other than that,
what's your favorite?
My favorite this time of year?
Yeah. If you could only fish one way.
Man, it's really hard to beat a swim bait bite right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got it. I get it right there.
Really
War Eagle says, I got a pack of Sakamata shads for you. Danny brought them straight from Japan. Well, buddy. Hey, listen, I don't know if I give them to me. You could probably sell them things for some money right now. Yeah. We'll hit those last two right there, Silver Punk and Mark Garrett. Silver Punk right there. If you run into orange water, is it best to head back down and find clearer water? Now, orange blowed out water, maybe. Stain water, I'd probably stick with the stain, but that's just me.
Yeah, it depends on your fishing style, what you want to do. If you want to throw a crank, find that stained water.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to throw like a Nico rig or shaky head, it's best to go to that clear stuff, make long casts.
Yeah. Good answer. Mark Garrett, last question tonight. Baits for Lanier next 2 weeks. He also wants to know shallow and deep. Co-angler. He's going to be a co-angler.
He's going to be co in the BFL probably.
Next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks, it depends who you're with and how they're fishing. You're going to have a mix of guys going deep and shallow. You'll probably have guys starting out deep and then heading shallow once that sun's up.
Yeah.
So baits that I would have tied on
as a co-angler,
a shaky head, a Nico rig, a drop shot, and a swim bait. Those are the baits I would have tied on.
Yeah, and I guess your swim bait, would you be throwing it on an underspinner or a ball head jig?
Either or.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. But I would drag it though.
Okay, makes sense.
Keep contact with the bottom.
Well, guys, I tell you what, it's been a pretty good show. A lot of questions, a lot of you crazy guys in the comments that didn't get us tonight, but we appreciate you guys watching. And a lot of you guys saw some new names tonight, and I appreciate you guys showing up. We have a good time with this. And again, the guests and the comments make the show. So we appreciate you guys really stepping up tonight and making it easy for us. And Damian, I tell you what, I'm glad we got you back on tonight after Tuesday's fluff, but I hope you'll come back.
Absolutely.
After that, and we'll start following you. And now you got a YouTube page.
Yeah, my YouTube is DS Bass Guide along with my Instagram. And
everything's
I post
DS Bass Guide.
Everything's DS Bass Guide. And I post videos all the time, Lanier, Carter's, Allatoona, and some other North Georgia lakes.
Yeah.
So
I'll tomorrow I will link his when I go back and redo the description, I'll link his pages and stuff, as well as I'm going to start linking all of the guys that are on the podcast that are helping out, whatever their social media is. I'm going to try to start getting that. So go give all these guys a follow, help support them that way, just like you guys support us. So great job tonight, Tony.
Thank you, sir.
Kevin, as always,
Enjoy.
Fantastic question of the night.
You got one already for next week.
I know you do. I know you do. So anyway, guys, hey, appreciate it. Appreciate you joining us. If you're on the water this weekend, first of all, as always, be safe out there and enjoy your time. We're going to be back next Tuesday with a great show. I got some Allatoona guys the next two shows. So going to be interesting. I'll be putting out posts on that Monday and all that. So have a great night. Go USA, and we'll see you on the next one.